Here we go. Start out by getting our mixture set right here, and let's start the engine. Ah, what a lovely sound. Nigel, we have engines.
Ooh, we have engines in our plane.
Thank you for that, Nigel. Really appreciate it. All right. Well, here we go. Let's go ahead and take off. We're taking off from a pretty rudimentary airport here. Let's go ahead and take off and enjoy the sights of the Grand Canyon, the canyon that be grand. All right, look at this. So, Nigel, while we're taking off, perhaps you could tell our viewers a little bit about yourself.
My vast knowledge of places throughout the world comes from my 30 years as a male stripper in a farming village outside of Essex. I spent my time reading books about useless geographical knowledge, not taking off my clothes.
Thank you for sharing that. I'm sure our viewers are very riveted by your story thus far. Now, as you can see, we've got some cloud coverage here, which ought to make flying the Grand Canyon somewhat interesting.
Cloud coverage is a rather common occurrence in flying, wouldn't you say so? You know, you don't have to answer that. Of course, cloud coverage is rather normal, especially when flying up near the clouds. Might I recommend keeping your eyes on your instruments, sir, so we don't get into any trouble?
This cloud coverage should make it quite interesting to be flying into the Grand Canyon. This is very low cloud coverage.
Isn't that what I just said, sir?
Going to make it a very interesting little trip here. Nigel, you are our resident Grand Canyon expert. I know you have some information you might want to share with us about the Grand Canyon as we take this trip. Tell us a little bit about your knowledge that is as grand as the canyon itself.
Nicely played, sir. Well, the Grand Canyon is known to be the second most visited national park in America, right after the Great Smoky Mountains. Which does beg the question, why are you showing us the second best thing you could, Jolly Julian? Lame, if you ask me.
Well, that's very interesting, Nigel. Very interesting indeed. All right, we are headed toward the canyon. Look at this beautiful view. The vista it just gives you again inside the Quest 3 headset. This just looks absolutely amazing. The sense of scope. It almost feels like you're there. And having never been to the Grand Canyon myself, I can only estimate what an awe-inspiring sight it must be. But this really starts to give an indication of what it might feel like. Nigel, give us our first tidbit of information about the Grand Canyon for anyone who might not know about it.
The Grand Canyon got its name from a one-armed Civil War veteran named John Wesley Powell. In 1969, John Wesley Powell and 9 companions steered wooden boats for about 1,000 miles on the Colorado River and through the canyon. Powell first used the term Grand Canyon in 1871.
Really? I did not know that. Very nice. Nigel, have you ever been flying through, or visited for that matter, even on ground level, the Grand Canyon?
No, I don't generally make it a habit to travel to giant holes in the ground. I have better things to do with my time.
Don't get a chance to travel to the States very often, I see. So what is something in your neck of the woods that might be comparable to the splendor, the great natural splendor that is the Grand Canyon here in the United States?
You may not be aware of this, but The United Kingdom has been around for a very long time, much longer than the mere few centuries that the United States has been. So we have a lot of incredible structures here, all of them made by mankind, and they are spectacular. In fact, I would encourage you to get out of the safety bubble of your airplane sometime and come check them out.
Very cool. All right, we have climbed a little bit more in altitude than I wanted, so we're going to start dropping altitude while Nigel continues his story.
Oh, certainly. You'd like me to continue teasing you about not being very worldly and not traveling outside the comfort zone of your big metal shell that you fly about in and pretend to have wonderful adventures? Oh, I can certainly do that. I can do that all day. I've nothing better to do at all.
We are now entering the Grand Canyon. This is incredible. It's very hard to describe how this looks
Not going to make any comment about what I
from
just said?
the vantage point right here in the cockpit, but hopefully you're getting an idea of the just majesty of this.
Ignoring me.
Millions of years in the creation. I understand that dinosaurs might have been crawling around in the Grand Canyon here. Is that correct?
Well, for anyone who didn't know, there are millions of fossils scattered about the Grand Canyon. But none of them are dinosaurs, as the Grand Canyon formed before dinosaurs ruled the world. So, no, there is no Grand Canyonosaurus Rex.
All right, so, I mean, older than the dinosaurs. That's pretty amazing. Pretty amazing. And I guess dinosaurs wouldn't be able to traverse these caves, caverns, drop-offs, and everything with any sort of ease. But I'll bet maybe some pterodactyls would have flown through here periodically. I don't know. But maybe this isn't the part of the world for pterodactyls. What do I know? I barely know how to fly an airplane. But look at this. We are successfully traversing the Grand Canyon so far. This looks incredible. Got good airspeed, so we have decent control. I wouldn't want to have to do anything very quick, though. This is not the most maneuverable plane in the world, but it is really great for getting to view this. Look at the water down there. The river looks just gorgeous. Am I correct that is the Colorado River down there that carved out this majestic canyon?
Ooh, look at the big brain on Jolly Julian. Yes, that would be the Colorado River, originating in Colorado.
Thank you for that trademark British sarcasm and dry wit. I appreciate that very much. I'll try not to take it personal.
You should.
All right, let's come around this bend and see what's over here. Look at this. Incredible. Absolutely incredible. I think we're going to go ahead and get ourselves some altitude here so that we can get a better look from above as to what we're seeing. So we're going to climb here a bit. Get ourselves a even more bird's eye view than we're getting right now. Now there you can see, the graphics aren't perfect on the side of that mountain, just to break the illusion here and go back into VR mode. But again, what Asobo and Microsoft Flight Simulator have done here is just miraculous. All right, I don't have enough airspeed to get up over that cliff there. So
You are not making me very comfortable,
bring
sir.
our nose up a little bit more.
Yeah, nose
oh
up.
boy, see, we are losing airspeed
Captain?
fast. Oh boy.
Captain?
Oh boy.
Oh, Captain?
Can I save us? Oh, look at that.
Oh.
All right. Woo!
How dare
Saved
you.
it there.
How dare you,
Look at
sir.
that. Didn't have enough airspeed, so we're going to have to get up some more airspeed here before we're going to be able to do that climb and get us out of the canyon. Something that any pilot would be very, very aware of. There we go. All right, we're picking up some airspeed here. That's good. Not getting our airspeed much above 90 there, so that's not going to be quite enough to get us up there But now we're starting to climb at least a bit. Maybe we'll just keep going about this rate of climb and see how long it takes us to get up there a little higher. But even with this a little bit more altitude, you can really start to see the grandeur of the Grand Canyon. Why don't you give us another fact about the Grand Canyon, something that our viewers may not know?
Well, about 4 to 5 million people visit the Grand Canyon per year. Disney World gets around 50 million visitors per year. Apparently, we need more thrill rides at the Grand Canyon. I'd suggest we start with a ride called Watch Your Step, where guests are forced to wear blindfolds and walk around the top edge of the canyon. The person who lasts the longest wins a pair of Mickey ears for their corpse.
Up ahead, I see that there might be a little spot I can get us through, even with the altitude that we have achieved now. Look at that off our right side. Just incredible. This makes me desperately want to travel to the actual Grand Canyon and see it for myself. Just the sheer size, it really does make you as a human being feel incredibly small. And this is just something that we can see on planet Earth to make us feel very small. When you start getting into the scope of the grand universe, boy, it just makes you feel incredibly insignificant. Oh, we just made it through that. We're already losing altitude because of airspeed. There we go. All right, picking our airspeed back up a little bit. Got some nice altitude. Love those low clouds. That really gives this a feeling of nature being very alive right now. I think it'd be fascinating to fly through here in the rain sometime. See what that's like. I'm curious about some more information about the Grand Canyon. Maybe something about the parts that are nearer to the ground. Maybe, are there caves or caverns of any kind throughout the Grand Canyon? And the canyon itself is so majestic, but are there little hidden areas that we could possibly find if we were to really explore down on ground level of the canyon?
There are indeed over 1,000 caves in the Grand Canyon. Only about 335 have been documented, and only one is open to the public. And 0 have public toilets.
I had no idea. I mean, obviously, with something this grand, it does seem that there would be large parts of the Grand Canyon itself that would not have been explored before, and that clarifies that. We're going to go to an external view of the plane here for just a moment. There we go. All right, that's the drone shot from behind the plane. Looking at that, look at this as we fly into the clouds. And up above the canyon itself, we're going to veer off to the right here. And we're going to take a look at this part of the canyon over here, carved out by a smaller offshoot of the river. Look at that. Let's go back into the cockpit view. We're going to try and lower our altitude just a bit here. Pull back on the throttle and see if we can get our altitude down just a little bit due to this cloud coverage. There we go. We're flying just barely at the base of the clouds, as you can kind of see there. That looks very cool. Look at it in here. All right, we're going to have to pick up our airspeed, though, because coming up over here, we might have a little trouble getting out of the canyon itself. Let's see if we can at least maintain some good airspeed here while we maintain this general altitude. Look at that. The power of water, right? I mean, all of this carved out by water. Maybe, I don't know, maybe some glaciers? Do you have any knowledge about that? Was all of this carved out by water purely? The river and the offshoots of the river? Or was some of this carved out just by the movement of glaciers during the Ice Age as well?
Actually, very few few people realize that the Grand Canyon was carved partially by the Colorado River, but mostly by a giant monster called the Squidgy Man. The Squidgy Man used his giant hand to just reach down and scoop out the land and eat it. Nom 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 nom. Like biscuits and tea. And if you believe me, I've got a bridge to sell you. In my neck of the woods. The London Bridge. Get it?
This is absolutely beautiful. We found a little spot we can fly through here easily, get us right back onto the track of the river. You can see running off the left there. Let's see how close we can get here without clipping our wing. Look at that. Fantastic. Fantastic. Let's go ahead and drop down. Let's get as low down to the river as we possibly can. Hold on to your britches. Hold on to your knickers. Here we go. This plane was not designed to do any sort of stunt flying. As long as we don't descend too quickly, we shouldn't put too much stress on the plane. We are picking up some serious speed here. Look at the lighting on the side of that cavern, or the side of the canyon there. That's gorgeous. Look at that. Look at the river. Lovely. All right, let's pick up some speed. Now we're going to be really stressing out the plane here a little bit. We don't want to get too much higher than about 140 there. There we go. Now we're leveling out a bit. Love that. Now we're talking. Now we're flying the Grand Canyon.
Captain, do you mind not flying so erratically? I mean, there is a lot to be said for keeping the wings parallel to the ground. You're getting awfully close to the sides of the
Nigel,
mountain.
if you don't like the way I'm flying, why don't you get yourself over here? You can get behind the stick here in the cockpit, and you can fly.
Yeah,
Let's see how you do.
I don't think I need to do that. No.
Yeah, that's what I thought. So why don't you just cut me a little bit of slack here? We're still alive. We're still cruising. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I think we have gotten to the point where we're going to try and land this sucker. Now, we are not anywhere near an airport right now, at least not as far as I am aware. So we're going to do a landing wherever we can find a suitable landing site, which I think is actually going to not be down in the canyon itself, but we're going to climb up and try and find a flat area like we saw earlier off to the left at the top of the canyon. So we're going to keep our throttle where we are. We're at full throttle right now. We're going to slowly start our ascent. Can't go too quickly or we'll have a problem with airspeed. Right now our airspeed is still acceptable. And let's see what happens when we get up there, if we can find a nice flat area to put this X-Cub down. Now, to those who are watching the video of this flight, I would love to hear from you in the comments. Have you been to the Grand Canyon before? In person? Have you flown through the Grand Canyon IRL, as they say, in real life? Or have you made the Grand Canyon a site that you particularly like to visit on a regular basis while you are in Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020? I would love to hear from you in the comments below. And, of course, do you have any facts that you would like to share about the Grand Canyon?
That might be the first thing we've agreed upon, sir. I'd love to hear from them.
We would like to hear from the viewers. We're always looking to learn new things. All right, so coming up here, I don't feel like we have quite enough airspeed to get us over that top yet. So we're going to keep climbing this direction, give ourselves a little bit more room here. Now, this is something I wouldn't recommend doing if you were flying a real plane You're not giving yourself very much room for error. If anything technical were to happen, you would be dropping pretty quickly. Our airspeed's incredibly low right now. And also, as we get higher and higher, the air gets thinner and thinner, so we're getting less lift on the wings. I don't know how much of that is being impacted right now. At this altitude, we are already at 5,900 feet above sea level. Ooh, I think we can get through. I think we can get through there.
What?
I think we can get through there.
No,
that's going to bring us right up to a spot where we might be able to find ourselves a nice little landing spot. Don't worry. Don't panic. Everything's good. Everything's good.
Your idea of good and mine are very different.
And you know what? If I crash, you're going to be fine. You're going to be safe there in your little ivory radio tower.
Don't quit your day job as a fake pilot.
Oh, I can play with words too, Wendell. All right? You Brits don't have that part of the language cornered right there. I can do it too. There we go. All right, we're going to get on top of all this right here. Oh, look at that. We are going to have plenty of landing sites up here. Yeah, look at that. Climbing right out of the canyon. Beautiful. All right, there's a little bit more rolling hills here than I was hoping for. Let's look around for a relatively flat spot to land. Looks like we got some right there. I think I could land right in that little pocket. It's a little short. Let's maybe look for something that's got a little... Oh, there we go. Directly ahead of us. That looks pretty good. Just off to our left. Yep, we can make that our landing. All right. Any last minute words you want to say before we bring this bad boy in for a landing? Not in an official airport, obviously, but we can land, I think, safely right over there directly to our left, just under our wing. Very good, very good. Well, just for everyone, for preparation to landing, we are going to be getting ourselves in proper position here. Love the clouds over here. Look at the shadows on the ground from that cloud. So alive. Just makes everything so alive. All right. We're going to start our bank to the left here. Preparation for landing. I'm going to wait until I'm on final approach before I apply the flaps. Shouldn't have to apply them before that. Alright, we're looking for a relatively flat area. It should be off to our left there. There we go. That looks pretty good. Yeah, actually, you know what? That might be right there. Yeah. Not sure if that's the exact spot I was looking at before, but it's definitely going to work for us. Alright, now let's go ahead and put our flaps down for landing position. There we go. That ought to slow us down real nice. There goes our airspeed. While we still manage to keep some of our altitude. Bringing us down. Drifting a little bit to the right here. Probably because of wind. We should be able to bring us in here really nicely. Now I'm going to bring the throttle way down. We're going to come down a little quicker here. Making sure our airspeed doesn't drop too much. There we go. Let's give her a little bit more throttle here. Bring it in for as soft of a touchdown as we can possibly get. Don't want to overrun this one because, as you can see, we got the canyon just waiting for us over there. This shouldn't be a problem at all. There, our airspeed's dropping very nicely. Altitude's dropping. Just a little much. I'm going to give us a little bit more throttle. We're a little low on our airspeed. Coming in nicely. Going in with the throttle. All right. Well, that was a. That was not a very. Yes.
Not good.
I know, not a very smooth landing.
Not at all.
I get that. Wandering all over the place here, but that's all right. Look at that. Look at that. Beautiful. Beautiful. That works. Safely landed. Let's see, how's our fuel? Oh, okay. We still got enough fuel. We could probably get back to the airport without any problem, but we're not going to do that today. Well, that concludes our flight through the Grand Canyon today. On behalf of Nigel, safely getting with us on the radio there. I am Jolly Julian, your intrepid pilot for the day, and we look forward to catching you on the next flight. Take care, everyone.
Speak for yourself. I'm never flying with you again.